So as we close 2023, I want to go over what lessons I've learned over the past year when it comes to getting the best value from credit cards. And it's always nice to reflect on what we've learned because there's always more to learn and there's always room for improvement when it comes to optimizing your credit card setup. So in this video, I'm going to cover these lessons from events that happened over the course of this year, both personally and generally, so we can all be better prepared to get maximum value from credit cards as we move into 2024. And the first thing I'm going to cover are my own personal credit card stats because it's going to provide a framework for these specific lessons. So in 2023, I added a total of 6 new cards, and this includes 3 American Express cards, which are the Hilton Honors Business Card, the Marriott Bonvoy Business Card, and the American Express Business Gold Card. And each of these credit card applications were separated by about 2 to 3 months. The other 3 credit cards I added were more recent, and those were the US Bank Altitude Reserve Card, the Bilt MasterCard, and the Chase Inc. Business Cash Card. But contrary to the American Express cards, all 3 of these credit cards were added within the span of 1 week. So you can see that credit card application velocity is going to depend on your specific goals for your credit card setup. And although I don't recommend applying for 3 cards within 1 week, this is something that's definitely possible. It's also important to continue to evaluate your credit card setup and cancel cards because they're either no longer getting you value or you just want to simplify your life. And for this year, I ended up canceling 5 cards: the American Express Amazon Business Prime Card, the American Express Platinum Card, the Delta Reserve Card, the American Express Business Platinum Card, and one of my Chase Inc. Cash cards. For those of you who are wondering why I canceled the American Express Platinum Card, especially since I rated this card as the most valuable travel card in my portfolio, remember I still have the Morgan Stanley version of the Platinum Card as well. For a time in 2023, I actually had 3 Platinum cards, 2 personal and 1 business. So these cancellations were just trimming the fat, so to speak, and by doing so, I dropped my annual fees by $1,390, which is pretty good. And the only reason I had that many platinum cards was because of the elevated sign-up bonuses. Personally, I don't find any value in having multiple platinum cards, but of course your individual situation may be different and your mileage may vary. As for the other 3 cards, I canceled the Amazon Business Prime Card because I needed another American Express credit card slot for my Marriott Bonvoy Business Card. Since I've applied for a lot of American Express credit cards, I know the maximum number that I can have at one time is 5, which is around the average number for most people, but this may be different in your situation. As for the Delta Reserve Card, I only got this card because of the unique 747 design and elevated sign-up bonus that was available during the summer of 2022. But since I don't fly Delta and have no other use for this card, I canceled it after its first card member anniversary. And as for the Chase Inc. Cash Card, I applied for a second Chase Inc. Cash Card recently, mainly for the elevated $90K sign-up bonus. And to simplify my life, I decided to cancel my first Chase Inc. Cash Card since it was over 2 years old, and I don't really have a need for 2 Chase Inc. Cash Cards. Okay, so with those 6 additions and 5 cancellations, I netted 1 credit card to my overall portfolio in 2023, bringing my total number of credit cards to 17 as of December. And with those credit card additions and cancellations, I was able to boost my total credit limit by $45,000, bringing my grand total of my credit limit to $382,500, which includes both personal and business credit cards. And if you're curious about my individual credit card limits, I'll throw up the screenshot here to break that down for you, so feel free to pause the video now if you're interested in what that looks like. And as it stands right now, my total annual fees for my credit card portfolio is $3,510, which isn't great, but I definitely plan on scaling this back in 2024. So on the topic of annual fees, American Express is the main culprit here, totaling about $2,000 of those annual fees. And this brings us to the first lesson that I've learned this year, and it's that American Express is not for everyone. It's interesting because I look back at my credit card videos from earlier this year, and I can really see how my mindset and thought process has shifted since then. Back then, my core credit card portfolio mainly used American Express credit cards, and I was very positive when it came to talking about them. But due to recent changes, American Express is heading in a certain direction, and even though I still think they're a great lender overall, I've become less enthusiastic about their credit cards. The first change was the sudden and abrupt changes to their welcome offer terms, basically adding language where they may not offer a sign-up bonus on a card unless you apply for cards within a card family in a certain order. Examples of this include applying for the gold card before the platinum card, applying for the Blue Cash Everyday card before the Blue Cash Preferred card, and applying for the Delta Platinum card before the Delta Reserve card. They also combine the personal American Express Platinum cards into one card family when it comes to sign-up bonuses, effectively cutting the value of sign-up bonuses from 3 possible individual bonuses into only 1. And with these changes, American Express is becoming a more restrictive issuer, funneling you to apply for credit cards in the way that they want you to if you want to continue to maximize credit card sign-up bonuses. The second change was when the Business Gold card was updated, increasing the annual fee on the card from $295 to $375, and adding 2 monthly statement credits to offset this new annual fee. And that was more of a niche upgrade because not everyone has the Business Gold card. But this was then followed by the next change from this year, which was the refresh of the personal Hilton credit card lineup. Looking more closely at the Hilton changes, it was the Surpass and the Aspire cards that saw increases to their annual fees, along with the addition of new or updated statement credits, which went from annual credits to semi-annual and quarterly statement credits. And if you want to know my raw thoughts on these changes, I recorded a podcast episode about it, so I'll link that up top as well as down in the description below. But the main takeaway from these changes is that American Express is increasing annual fees and trying to justify these changes by adding statement credits. And I think that's a great thing to do. I mean, they could have just raised the annual fee with no statement credits at all. But the issue is that these are not typical annual statement credits. These are semi-annual, quarterly, or even monthly statement credits, and so that adds a layer of unnecessary complexity when it comes to getting value back. And in my opinion, this is also deceptive marketing. If we take the American Express Platinum card, which is everyone's favorite coupon book, they love to say that you can get $1,500 in value, which is true. You can get $1,500 in value. But to do this is not very straightforward because all the statement credits are given in different intervals, so you end up spending all this unnecessary energy trying to figure it all out. Likewise, with the refreshed Business Gold card, Hilton Surpass card, and Hilton Aspire card, the new statement credits can effectively give you net positive value if you value all of the credits. But is it really worth it year over year? I mean, do you really want to spend your energy maximizing these credits monthly while at the same time paying hundreds of dollars in annual fees for the privilege to do so? For some of you, that answer may be yes. And for some of you, that answer may be no. For me personally, my answer is no, unless I have a really good reason to have the card. So when it comes to American Express, they're making it harder to get sign-up bonuses, and they're raising annual fees while distracting you with coupons. And so moving into 2024, my stance is that you really have to think critically if an American Express credit card makes sense for you long term. Now, of course, it's not all bad because American Express has a feature on their cards that's very powerful when it comes to credit card strategies. What's nice is that their business credit cards, 1, usually do not show up on your personal credit report, and 2, usually only result in a soft pull with each application. And with these concepts in mind, the second lesson I learned is that applying for American Express business cards is a great strategy while gardening. We all know and love gardening because the Chase 524 rule is always getting in our way, preventing us from getting that next great Chase credit card and its great sign-up bonus. So gardening is an important part in this credit card hobby, and usually you would just stop getting credit cards, but with business credit cards, you can still garden while getting pretty valuable sign-up bonuses. Earlier this year, I knew I wanted to garden because my goal was to get under Chase 524, but I didn't want to stop getting value from credit card sign-up bonuses in the meantime. And applying for American Express business credit cards was the answer for me. If we look back at the first 3 credit cards that I applied for this year, they were all American Express business cards, and they all had elevated sign-up bonus offers. So this is the strategy that I'd recommend if you're looking to garden. And if this is you in 2024, I definitely recommend looking into American Express business cards if you want to earn some valuable sign-up bonuses along the way. And since I gardened for most of this year, I was able to position myself for an opportunity that I didn't even see coming, which brings me to the third lesson that I learned, which is that your lifestyle will guide you to your best credit card setup. At the beginning of this year, I thought that by getting under Chase 524, I'd be able to make this the year of hotel credit cards by getting cards such as the World of Hyatt card and the World of Hyatt business card. But mid-year, I realized that there was a much better option in my specific situation. Around this time, I was starting to experience American Express statement credit burnout as I had 3 cards with monthly statement credits: the Platinum card, the Gold card, and the Bonvoy Brilliant card. and I was looking for a way to lower my monthly statement credit burden, which is when I found the US Bank Altitude Reserve card. Now, I had heard about this card in the past, but never really took it seriously because I was so invested in my primary credit card lenders, specifically American Express, Chase, and Bank of America. But when I looked at my recent purchases over the past year, I realized that most, if not all, of these purchases were done through a mobile wallet. And this is when I realized that, hey, this may be a good time to get this card. But then the issue was, well, US Bank is one of those banks with credit cards that are difficult to get approved for, so was this even possible? Well, as we discussed earlier, I had been gardening my credit report trying to get under Chase 524, and so I was perfectly set up to switch my credit card strategy, start a banking relationship with US Bank, and, well, the rest is history. And if you want to see specifically how I was able to get approved for the US Bank Altitude Reserve card by combining multiple different strategies, it's a really cool story, so I'll leave a link to that video up top as well as down in the description below. So you can see that depending on the situation, you may have one plan for your credit card setup, but that plan may change. And so it's really important to be flexible and be able to pivot when necessary. Another great example of this was when the Chase Ink Cash and Unlimited cards came out with their elevated 90K sign-up bonus offers in the fall of this year. Around that time, I had just applied for 2 credit cards on the same day, so I wasn't really planning on applying for another credit card for the next several months. But when this offer came out, I didn't want to miss out on it because I wasn't able to get it when it was around earlier this year. So in the end, I decided to pull an Uncle Luke, risk it for the biscuit, and apply for the card since, at the time, I had a very small window where I appeared to be under Chase 524, since the other cards that I applied for about a week earlier had not yet reported to my credit report. Luckily, I was approved for the card, but that presented another problem since now I had 2 new credit cards with 2 sign-up bonuses that I had to complete at the same time. And to make both bonuses, I had to spend about $10,000 in 3 months, but I calculated it out and realized that I could make it work without overspending, especially because the holidays were fast approaching. And looking back at these experiences, I've learned that even if you've roadmapped your entire credit card setup, things can change very quickly in the credit card world, and your priorities may shift as well. So it's super important to be flexible with your plan so you can pivot when necessary. So those are the lessons that I've learned in 2023 that I'll carry with me into 2024. And if you stayed all the way until the end, I have a very special announcement. Over the past few months, I've been beta testing a new app called Pushie, which was recently released on the Apple App Store. Pushie is an app that helps me connect directly with you using push notifications on your phone, letting you know the moment when I post new videos, as well as other content that I may only want to share with my most loyal supporters. I'll be using this app more often to help me connect directly with you. So if you're interested, definitely check them out on the App Store, and don't forget to subscribe to me there as well so you can be one of the first to be notified on the latest updates about credit cards from me personally. For full disclosure, this is not a sponsored video and I have no affiliation with the company, but I'm super excited to start connecting with all of you using Pushie, and I think it has a lot of future potential. And so thanks again for sticking around to the end. Definitely check out Pushie, and I'll see you in the next one.